What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is Count Von Count. Count your Vons, Count, because his opponent today is Nullus in the red color, playing as Poseidon here. The map is Savannah, and we do have one of those kind of unique Savannah maps, which doesn't have starting hunt in your line of sight. So you do have to find that hunt immediately, effectively, if you're playing as both players. And I actually think the best way to do this, as a Greek player, as a Poseidon player, as pretty much every civilization, including Isis here, so we'll go over and explain how that works, is actually to not drop the granary at the start of the game. So what you want to do, basically, it takes roughly 1 minute to circle around your starting hunt, your starting base, to find where your hunt is. So the best way to play this is to not drop the granary here and just allow the villagers to drop back into the town center and then walk back. So you do lose out on a little bit of walking time, but you've saved that time not building the... oh, that's an unfortunate kill there on the rhinoceros. But you do save that walking time, or sorry, that building time of the granary. So then what happens is you basically move over to the granary. By the time your second load comes in, at the very worst, by the time your second load comes in, you'll be able to move over to the rhinoceros or to the zebra or to whatever hunt is there and have a really good time hunting that with your first granary. Meaning, at the very worst situation possible, you will only have to drop 2 granaries in the archaic age. Now, you are Poseidon here, so you do have the giraffe. Now, if we move over here and talk about the way in which you should do it as Isis, what you should be doing here is just throwing villagers onto the chicken and sending your pharaoh one way, sending your priest the other. The priest drops an obelisk on one side here to scout out that, whereas your pharaoh goes around the other side and scouts that out, and you actually are able to find your hunt at the very worst is probably about 30 seconds into the game, because you've got the 2 units scouting, and you should be able to find where your rhinoceros or whatever second hunt you have is, and you're able to then move on to those locations and have a good time. It tends to be, well, not only that, you can also take a guess that there is always going to be hunt on this map. You can always take a guess as to where it is. As you can kind of see, it's probably going to, well, there it is over here. If you scout out 3/4 of the map and you don't see the hunt, you can guess that it's over in the other place to just move there. But we do see both players have found their hunt. It is a very, very high hunt map here with the mass giraffes. So this is such a good spawn here for the Isis player in this matchup, because generally speaking, what happens here is the Poseidon player or the Greek player is going to send their early hero forward and start harassing your villagers. And the only real way to counter that is to either villager fight or retreat back to your base, both of which slow you down quite heavily. And so grabbing this big amount of hunt in the early stages of the game is going to be a really, really big help for Count Von Count, because he's going to be able to move forward, potentially eat this rhino over here, potentially grab this town center and be able to eat this rhino as well. Would be a good play. We'll see what he's going to be going for. Whereas Nullus here, he's getting his hunt from the lure over here, which is actually grabbing his own giraffe, it would seem. He's got giraffe over here as well. But we'll see what Nullus is going to be going for. Now, I actually think this is a really, really good map for the Poseidon player as well, because he's got an incredibly back town center. Now, generally speaking, you don't want to grab a town center with not a whole lot of stuff next to it, but against Isis, if you send your scout next to the town center and you scouting out what your opponent's doing as for whether they're going for a 2 town center player or a 1 town center player. If they go for a 2 town center player, you can grab the forward town center. If they go for a 1 town center player, you grab the back town center, and it makes it much harder for the Isis player to send their army over and get value early in the game, because the map's so large to make that work. But we do see Hermes coming through and Count on Count going through Bast, so no real surprises there. As we also see a very, very, very strange Prosperity getting dropped down here as Count on Count. He is moving in with his Pharaoh, with his Priest, and he's going to start putting some incredibly early pressure onto Nullus, who's got himself the Theseus out over here, getting some good damage done. Now, Nullus, all he has to do here is get himself out the hero, and he should be able to hold on to this. But Nullus almost losing a villager. He does lose a villager here as well, as the villager is going to be pulling back. This is such an aggressive play. Nullus's early game has really, really hurt him here, as those Priest Pharaoh, that sort of early game pressure here from Count on Count very, very rarely works. And not only that, look at this. Nullus doesn't have the gold to get himself to a second town center here, as the Sphinx coming in, the villagers coming forward to try and grab this town center. He has to cast Ceasefire now, and Count on Count has had such an incredible impact in this early game. He gets himself the Hippolyta out. The villagers moving forward over onto this location. He's going to build one granary. He's going to be grabbing his town center finally here, but look at this. Count on Count, armory down at this point. Second town center to boot coming through here as well, and he's going to be having a fantastic time coming forward in this game. A beautiful start here to Count von Count's game, as the town center is going to be coming up. We see the villagers moving over here as well. Now it's going to have to defend himself on this location from the Sphinx raids and everything else, as the priests are going to come down onto the bottom side of the map. Having 3 or 4 priests does actually beat the I think you can beat the units there, or the heroes there, and get some good damage done onto these villagers if he manages to muster his forces correctly. So Nullus might be in just a little bit of a difficult position, but taking some very, very quick damage onto the priest here. Not exactly what he wants to be doing, as the Sphinx is going to be moving back down over here, as the priest going to be retreating back, a little bit of speed walking to get away from here, as the Sphinx going to start taking some villagers down. Nullus is in complete disarray here in this game, as that villager is going to be trying to make a break for it, but is definitely going to be losing. Oh, no, opting to not take the damage here. Moving back with the priest and potentially going to be able to target down that gold mine yet again, as the Sphinx simply just retreats away. This is such a beautiful usage of the Sphinx in the early game here from Count von Count here, as he's now going to start attacking this villager over here. Not going to get the villager kill here from those 4 priests, but going to get some good damage done. He could move up onto this top location as well and start harassing that, as Nullus needs to leave his units down on the bottom, or his heroes down on the bottom, to protect this location over here, as the wall's coming up. Count von Count going to be enjoying this town center here, grabbing the Rhino. He's got his armory coming out. His village is incredibly safe over here. Walls coming down onto this location. The giraffe here haven't been harassed at all or in this game, and Count von Count has managed to grab every single little bit of that, as now the center does get sniped down here. Nice play. The Hippolyta coming in onto this location, going to start getting some damage done onto it as well. Count von Count might want to be a little bit more careful with these priests come now, as he's going to be just a little bit caught out once the Hippocons start coming out. So it might be worthwhile retreating back home, as the Sphinx comes in. The Theseus waiting idly by there to say, get out of here, as that's going to be pulling back home. And Count von Count going to be hitting around about a 9:30 heroic age time. After all is said and done, very, very nice heroic here. He's got enough resources as well to get himself pickaxe. He's already got pickaxe, so maybe he can start looking towards getting shaft mine here. We see him wanting to the soldiers coming up, as Count von Count's going to have a ton of economy moving forward in this game. We'll see how things will end up going, though, because Nullus starting to get his walls down. He's got the stable, he's got the archery range. He's almost finished up on the giraffe over here, but he's got plenty of giraffe remaining on this location. He's got some chicken left in his base, as well as the goats, but he will have to start farming soon, as he is starting to throw the farms down on this town center, as this game is getting very, very tense. As now we see also a barracks coming down for Count von Count. Spearman, Chariot Archer, Siege Tower, Scorpion Men. Not a composition that is seen very much, but incredibly useful against Poseidon to be using when you do those sort of timing attacks. Generally speaking, when you go for when you go for Spearmen, Chariot Archers, it's ISIS off of one town center. You just don't have the resources to afford Spearmen, so it can be just really difficult to make it work. But Count Von Count now at this point, he's moving over onto this mining camp over here. He's got villagers on this gold over here. He's going to be dropping the Migdol stronghold in the middle of the map, not defending anything here. So the chances of Nullus finding it very, very high, apparently, as the Hippolyta is going to be coming through. But we do have the priest already over here with the spearman going to be coming out, so no problems. As Count Von Count is going to be jumping onto these goats over here. He's just about finished up on that rhino. Well, he has finished up on the rhino, so he will be moving over onto these giraffe over here as well. We're starting farming as another option. But plenty of economy coming through as this gate going to be getting broken down. Lots of walls getting spammed up here for Nullus as he's desperately going to be trying to hold on in this game. We do see the Sphinx getting tied down by the Hippolyta as Count Von Count not paying attention. He does pull it back in time. Going to be able to heal that one back up with his priest. As now we see a siege works coming down. Chariot Archer starting to get produced. Count Von Count a little bit behind on the food here. He's only got enough food production for spearmen or just for spearmen basically, or 2 town centers at this point with only 8 villagers on the food. Not grabbing this food is I'm a bit confused about here. He's sent a lot of villagers over onto gold as I mean maybe he can buy some food moving forward with that marker getting thrown up. We'll see how things are going to go as the Hippocon going to be coming through here to start putting some pressure on those spearmen. Are very, very scary here. The question is, do you cut Chariot Archers here and start making siege towers or not at this point? I think if Count Von Count maybe just went a little bit less heavy on gold right now, he might be able to have a bit of a stronger army, because you basically, once you have the Migdol up, and you have the barracks up, and you have the siege works up, that gold is really just going to be getting spent on farms, which he doesn't really need right now. So it might make more sense to have more of a 15 wood, 8 gold, or 9 gold economy. It's kind of just flipping this on its head in all honesty, unless he wants to be trying to grab a 3rd town center behind all of this. We'll see how things are going to go. He can also buy some food here if he so chooses. But now the villagers happily grabbing the giraffe. Walls getting set up everywhere. Nullus here at 125 or 130 population, but he doesn't have that ceasefire. So an Ancestors Eclipse attack here is going to be doing so much damage as the spearman starting to move across the map. He's gotten himself a heavy spearman here, going to be pulling back underneath the Migdol stronghold. There's more units going to be trying to pop out of this. He's actually not building the spearmen anymore. He needs to start getting those out as the Toxotes are doing some good damage from afar at this point. Nullus, though, the thing is, the longer this goes, the longer the Nullus is able to be on full population as this villager sneaks through. But Hippolyta spots it. The longer you wait on this location, the kind of the harder it gets for the Isis player, because the closer the Nullus, the Poseidon player gets to the heroic age, the closer he gets Nemean Lion, Atlanta to deal with those Scorpion men, and Curse to really slow down any sort of pressure that's going to be coming through, as tons of buildings getting thrown down here for Nullus. One mistake that he has made here is Ancestors Eclipse going to be coming down. He's throwing so many farms into this town center. Definitely should have been putting them on the home town center here, as the Scorpion men going to be pushing through. This is going to be a very, very tough attack here for Nullus to hold, as villagers getting taken down. The Scorpion men are going to be doing so much damage. It looks like the hero is not in position in the slightest here, as the what do you call them, minions coming through here to try and take down some of those units. As the siege tower, we've only got 1 siege tower here for Count Von Count, so Nullus can very simply pop out of this town center, shank this siege tower down incredibly fast here. As the Hippocon getting taken down, we'll see the siege tower going down. No more town center killing units here for Count Von Count, as now we see Nullus going to be pumping units into his military buildings here. He's also got coming out of these military buildings potential militia to hold on here. So things looking not so bad for Nullus, but he does have a lot of idle time here. 17 villagers on this location being idle. We are going to be seeing the Chariot Archers searching around for some villager kills as the villagers pop back out. 119 of 130 population. We're going to be seeing all these units getting popped out now to take down the rest of the reinforcements in on this location. Count on count now. 3 town centers, 38 villages on gold at this moment. He can throw farms down everywhere. He's getting sacred cats. Does he have the upgrades? He's got himself plow. He should be thinking about getting irrigation. When you get sacred cats, you have to get irrigation on top of it to make it do anything. I believe that is correct. I could be wrong, but Nullus takes a lot of damage. He's currently getting raided quite heavily as the Hippocon going to be coming through here to start getting some damage done onto this location. But honestly, the Chariot Archers might actually be able to beat those Hippocon here because there's quite a lot of them. But he's going to be retreating away instead. As now Nullus is going to be moving across the map. We see some villagers coming forward to throw a Migdol stronghold down just outside of this wall to try and get in onto this location. I like that play. Count on Count being very aggressive there. As a Chariot Archer is just going to pull back past this town center. Nullus over here, he's just about able to advance to the next age. Count on Count's farms starting to come out. He has a lot of farms set up. Might want to throw some granaries down to make them just a little bit more efficient in this game. As the Toxotes now moving very strangely into this location, trying to look for some gold raids over here, it seems. But the gold villages are all on the top side of the map for the time being. As Nullus still pushing out here, trying to fight this. We do see some spearmen here, which are going to be able to tank quite a lot of damage here from the medium Hippocon, allowing those Chariot Archers to get a lot of DPS done. Meanwhile, the Scorpion Men coming in here, that's going to do so much damage to these Toxotes, as Nullus is trying to ignore them to try and take out those spearmen there. But when that special attack comes through, it just does so much damage. But the Toxotes here do manage to win that fight, but at what cost? At what cost indeed, as now Nullus clicking up through Aphrodite. No surprises there. He's getting himself the 3rd town center behind all this. 118 of 130 population. As the siege tower is pushing through, we do see those militia, pesky militia, popping out here to try and deal with those siege towers. But Nullus here, tons of gold in the bank. What is he going to be doing with that? He's got 1 villager on favor, so probably not spamming Nemean Lions here. Right now, the Toxotes need to return back home and try and defend here, because things are going to start looking very, very tough here for Nullus, as Count on Count trying to break through this wall, and he can push in and start walling this off as well, take control of that corner, as Nullus is going to attempt to throw up his own wall over here to defend this, but it looks like it's going to be just too slow here, especially with the Migdol helping out. So this gold mine going to be getting targeted down as well, as the pressure is mounting from Count on Count. Nullus here, not out of this game just yet, but he is on the brink as the villagers trying to break this or put this wall up. And now we see Count on Count sending his villagers forward to drop a Migdol stronghold on this gold mine. A potential gold starve could be on its way here, because the villagers, there's no gold remaining here for Nullus. He can come forward onto this location. Throwing a fortress down here to defend this would be a very, very good idea. We see Curse getting dropped over here as Nullus here, 112 or 145 population moving forward. He does get the Nemean Lion out as well. Nullus has got himself 557 gold left in this game as the Migdol comes down over here, and that will be set up. Things looking very, very scary here. Will Count on Count know to check this gold mine, as he is now sending the cavalry through onto this location, but is he too little too late? As well, Nullus has to stop Toxotes if he wants to defend this location with a fortress. He's almost got the wood for it, but the cavalry is starting to get some big damage done over there. Not only that, he's starting to move. Nullus is also starting to move forward here. He's going to be able to grab this gold mine to boot, as well as the cavalry do get taken down, but more cavalry going to be coming in as Nullus, he's going to decide to take this fight. He is shanking down the cavalry, but Count on Count retreating back. He's going to be grabbing this gold mine over here. Count on Count sitting at 148 or 154 population here, as the Hippocon trying to push through here, trying to break down this Migdol stronghold. He's only got the one barrack, he's got a couple of barracks trying to get set up over on this location here, trying to make some sort of side build happen, as some Prodromus coming through here to try and deal with this, but Spearmen coming in as well, as Nullus gets pushed off this location yet again. Scores getting closer and closer though, as this fight seemingly going fairly decently for Nullus. He's sitting underneath the Migdol stronghold for the time being, as the Nemean Lion going to be coming through to deal with these Chariot Archers, but he does decide he needs to retreat back right now, sitting at 24 gold here, as the map control for Count on Count is mounting, and it doesn't look like the gold situation here for Nullus is going to be able to continue any longer, as Nullus does tap out there. 17 minutes, 49 seconds into the game. A wonderful play here from Count Von Count. Getting in on that bottom side of the map here to push off of that gold mine was so vitally important because Nullus was on the way to stabilizing, and a stabilized Poseidon against even a fully set up ISIS is incredibly hard to crack, and you're going to be looking at a slog from the ISIS's perspective if you can't manage to make that work. So an incredibly smart play there by Count Von Count to come in and take this location. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.